and potential toxic effects. Their hope is to receive FDA approval as an investigational drug and move into human trials by early next year.
It could be another year after that before patients actually will be able to take it.
If it gets approved, it would provide a new glimmer of hope for those living with this fatal disease. I'm Usher Qureshi reporting.
Usher, thank you for that report. Well, that's going to do it for us today. I'm Michelle London. Denver 7 News at 5 starts right now.
I turned off I-70, I was like, oh my goodness.
It might be his first memory of snow.
Keeping things cool.
The unofficial kickoff to summer begins with snow in the mountains and a very slow drive back to the metro.
Being up in the mountains, it's always a surprise when something like the weather pattern changes. Yeah, sunny one day, snowy the next.
Plus, honoring those who made the ultimate sacrifice.
The president pays his respects this Memorial Day in the nation's capital.
And still today, we are free because they were brave.
And remembered ceremonies take place here in Colorado.
That saying that freedom isn't free is really true.
And the ban to keep people from camping on the streets in Boulder turns into a legal battle.
It is not a one-size-fits-all. Homelessness doesn't have one face.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on this Memorial Day at 5. I'm Jacqueline Allen.
And I'm Tom Mustin. Glad to have you with us. AAA expected 730,000 Coloradans would travel this Memorial Day weekend.
And despite historically high gas prices, nearly 90% of all Colorado travelers told AAA they would drive to their destination. That includes the more than 27,000 people heading back home from the mountains now. So far today, we've seen the typical stop-and-go traffic heading east out of the Eisenhower Tunnel, but things are looking clear now, you can see, despite some of the snow earlier. And we'll get more to that snow and cooler weather from meteorologist Mike Nelson in just a moment.
But first, Russell Haythorne kicks off a Memorial Day newscast with a look at the traffic. And Russell, luckily, it sounds like things have been pretty clear where you are in Loveland Pass.
Yeah, hi Tom. I-70, really not that bad this afternoon. We just drove down from Loveland Pass to our current location here in Idaho Springs, and traffic was light in those eastbound lanes, which get really congested typically on holiday Mondays like this. The worst of the traffic was west of the tunnel from Silverthorne up to the tunnel in those eastbound lanes, so be careful there. A chilly and snowy beginning to the unofficial start of summer.
It's cold.
Memorial Day 2022 will likely be 3.5-year-old Connor's first memory of snow.
It might be his first memory of snow. So we live in Houston full-time but have a house in Edwards, and so we never know quite what to pack when we leave 95 degrees and humid and come out here.
Connor and his family from Houston enjoying a chilly Memorial Day in Breckenridge.
It's really cool outside. Packed the Colorado layers for this trip.
I was shocked when I saw the mountains were covered. Actually, when I turned off I-70, I was like, oh my goodness.
Trish Cohn and her family came all the way from Chattanooga, Tennessee for the week.
We're intending to do a bunch of hiking up high, and I don't think we can do it today.
Up at Loveland Pass, license plates from Connecticut, South Dakota, and Florida, to name a few.
Hi.
Many braving the cold and blowing snow to get that perfect photo. Other extreme adventure seekers skinning up the mountainside to get in those last few runs of the season.
Being up in the mountains, it's always a surprise when something like a weather pattern changes. Yeah, sunny one day, snowy the next.
These late spring heavy snows having a big impact on snowmelt. The snowstorms have now slowed runoff with 40+ inches of snow the past couple weeks, saving what was looking like a rough rafting season.
In early May, it was kind of hot and the snowpack was melting and there was a little bit of concern.
Let's go, guys.
But these past few storms have cooled down the temperature, slowed down the melt, and really set us up for an amazing summer.
So the storms are certainly good for some businesses up here. Back here live now in Idaho Springs. The sun is out, the band is playing, and the street festival continues here on Minor Street. Quite a few people braving the 50-degree temperature up here. It is definitely jacket or sweatshirt weather. Again, Vail Pass closed earlier today because of snow and blowing snow. That is now back open. We'll continue to monitor the situation on I-70 during this holiday weekend. But for now, we're live here in Idaho Springs. Russell Haythorne, back to you guys.
Russell, I love that you were taking family pictures for people at the top of Loveland Pass. That was great. Thanks so much for that report. You know, we had a lot of surprises this weekend, but meteorologist Mike Nelson has been telling us about this cool down for a while. Mike, my family went for a little hike here this morning, and it was actually perfect hiking weather.
It was very nice early today. We had some sunshine. It's a little bit on the cool side, but it's really been changeable over the last 12 hours or so. This is a time lapse from our camera in Westminster. You can see those clouds kind of rolling off the mountains a little bit, and that's the strong winds aloft they're coming in. Here's a live view up on the Continental Divide. Still a lot of snow up there at the Loveland ski area, and more is on the way. Here's the current temperatures across the region. 60s and 70s, most lower elevations, 40s and 50s in the mountains. There's a touch of rain and snow across the state. Bigger view, a lot of severe weather in the Midwest from Minnesota to Kansas. And this is our next weather maker coming in from the northwest that will bring us rain and for the mountains, some snow tomorrow night and early Wednesday. Still kind of windy and cool for a couple of days. Rain develops about this time tomorrow afternoon, snow for the mountains, but warmer for the end of the week. I'll be back with more on that coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Mike. And for the most up-to-date weather for your area, you can download the free Denver 7 Plus app. It is available right now on your streaming device.
This weekend in Rocky Mountain National Park, a man was killed after an avalanche and rock slide on Mount Meeker. 2 others were injured in the slide. A woman suffered minor injuries. Another man was flown to Medical Center of the Rockies with serious injuries. We'll keep you posted on that. In Pueblo, a woman is dead after a boat capsized in the Pueblo Reservoir. 38-year-old Jessica Prindle was found dead in the water Sunday. 11 people were rescued, including 3 adults and 8 juveniles. 1 man is still missing there. That search has been suspended until 10 o'clock this evening due to high winds.
On this Memorial Day, President Biden honored our nation's fallen heroes. Today, he and the First Lady laid a wreath at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier in Arlington, Virginia, which honors all of those who have given the ultimate sacrifice to our country. The President and the First Lady then planted a tree at the White House to honor fallen veterans.
Today, the Fort Logan National Cemetery hosted its 88th Memorial Day ceremony. Hundreds of families attended this year's ceremony, which has not taken place since 2019. Delivered by the Director of Joint Staff at the Colorado National Guard. There was also a flyover by the 140th Fighter Wing. We'll have much more on today's ceremony at Fort Logan tonight on Denver 7 News at 6.
Funeral services began today for the 19 students and 2 teachers killed in the Uvalde Elementary School shooting. And new tonight, ABC News is getting new video here of students being rushed out of classroom windows by officers. Dispatch audio telling officers the gunman was in a classroom with children needing help.
You have a child online. Row 12, are we able to, is there anybody inside of the building at this? Sure. Child is advising he is in the room full of victims at this moment.
Just yesterday, the President and First Lady visited Robb Elementary with people chanting outside for the President to, quote, do something. The President only responded to the crowd saying, "We will."
Police are still investigating after a teenage girl was shot in Central Park last night. It happened in the parking lot of the rec center on 25th Avenue. Police say it began as a fight, and officers tried to chase a female suspect that had a gun. That person and another suspect carjacked another person driving a red Honda. Denver police say they have not made any arrests. The teen who was shot is expected to be okay. The ACLU has filed a lawsuit challenging Boulder's homeless camping ban. The lawsuit alleges the ban criminalizes unhoused citizens.
But city leaders say the ban was in response to growing safety concerns. Denver 7's Micah Smith takes a closer look at the lawsuit and the legal challenges these camping bans face.
Winter or summer, throughout the Denver metro, you'll find multiple tents lining a major city road or a park.
There's a lot of stigma that surrounds homelessness.
Jennifer Livovich is one of the plaintiffs of a new ACLU lawsuit challenging the city of Boulder's homeless camping ban, prohibiting tents and coverings in public places.
For far too long in Boulder, our camping ban, better referred to as our blanket ban, has been the city's response to the failure at the local, state, and national levels.
Livovich, who was once homeless herself and now runs a nonprofit to help those in need, says Boulder's ban is cruel.
Instead of helping those in need, the vast majority of those seeking assistance are either given meager help or none at all.
According to the lawsuit, since last summer, the Boulder Shelter for the Homeless has turned away 250 people the majority on cold nights. In response, the city of Boulder says, "We have just received the lawsuit and are reviewing it. The city will comment at the appropriate time through its filings in the court process." But here's what council members who voted for the ban said in July 2021 when it passed.
Our public spaces, in my view, belong to the entire community, not merely those who would treat them so inappropriately.
Having an enclosed tent in a park or other open space is essentially, taking over that public space.
Homeless camping bans across the Front Range have faced legal challenges. Denver's ban has been in place for 10 years, a decade full of litigation.
I would like to see are additional services provided by a diverse range, local nonprofits.
Livovich says until that happens, homeless Coloradans will sleep where they can, creating an unsanitary eyesore to some and a home to others. Reporting in Boulder, Micah Smith, Denver 7.
All the music, all the people, it's wonderful. I always love running this.
A Memorial Day tradition returns in all its wacky grandeur.
Everybody dresses up, there's slip and slides, there's fun fruit slot machines. Just everybody loves to play around.
Tens of thousands hit the streets for this year's Boulder,
including a father-daughter duo who know a thing or two about endurance and bouncing back.
It's resilience, it's recovery. The Marshall Fire is a long race, right?
And if you're cooking at home this Memorial Day, there's a recall you should definitely keep an eye out for.
And the first hurricane of the season begins its tear through Mexico.
Pretty much dry this afternoon, but by this time tomorrow we'll be looking at rain and for the mountains some snow.